Hello, and welcome to the WEV Funding Team Info session, where you will learn about our programs and services and how to apply for funding at Women's Economic Ventures. We're glad to have you. Women's Economic Ventures is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the economic empowerment of women, cultivating the power within each woman to realize her dreams, achieve financial independence, and succeed on her own terms. That is our mission statement. And please meet the WEV Funding Program team. My name is Marnie Brook. I'm the Director of Funding here at Women's Economic Ventures. And these are my colleagues, Marta Quintero, WEV's Small Business Lending Officer, and Stephanie Martinez, WEV's Funding Program Coordinator. WEV has a number of products and services to serve small businesses in our communities. WEV is one of the few organizations that does provide startup loans for those organizations or businesses who have not yet started or have been in existence for 12 months or less. Through this program, you can receive up to $25,000 for your startup business. That would be at a rate of 6.5%. That is a fixed interest rate. You can receive a term of up to 5 years. And you also have the option of making your first 6 payments interest only. And you would then make the remainder of your payments principal and interest. There is a 1% processing fee of the total amount that you borrow, and any third-party costs that may be associated with your loan, such as collateral perfection fees, such as a title policy for a real estate secured loan, or any other third-party fees would also be your responsibility. These do not always apply. As well, for all of our loan programs, the borrower must contribute at least 10% of their own funds toward the project. And by project, we mean, in this case, perhaps, the total cost of starting up your new business. We would want to see that you had contributed a minimum of 10% towards that total, because WEV does not provide 100% financing. And then also, as with all of our programs, there is no prepayment penalty for a startup loan. You can pay that off at any time without penalty. WEV also offers slightly larger loans for expansion for businesses that have been in existence for at least 12 months. In this program, you have the opportunity to receive up to $50,000 under the same terms, again at a 6.5% fixed interest rate, up to 5 years, with the interest-only option, if you wish, with the same fees, the same equity contribution of a minimum of 10%, and no prepayment penalty. So the only difference between this loan and the startup loan is that you must be in business more than 12 months, and you have the opportunity to obtain up to $50,000. Another program that we offer for businesses who have been in existence at least 12 months, so not for startup businesses, we have the option of a Streamline Loan. Because our startup and expansion loans are larger, they do require a full documentation package for the application. For businesses that are seeking a smaller amount of funding and have been in existence for at least 12 months, you can obtain up to $5,000 with a minimum credit score of 660, a current business license, and a current business bank statement, all of which need to show no negative or derogatory activity. If you'd like to apply for $10,000, you can do so with all of those items that I just mentioned, plus your prior year tax return or profit and loss statement showing a minimum break even. So in other words, no operating losses for your business for the prior year. That would be if you wanted to obtain more than $5,000. The terms are similar. The interest rate is the same, a 6.5% fixed interest rate with a 3-year term where you may make your first 2 payments interest only and the remainder principal and interest. There is a 1% fee. There would not be any other third-party fees associated with this loan. And again, there would be no prepayment penalty for this loan. We do also like to mention that we can make loans for applicants who have only ITINs and not Social Security numbers, and also those with no credit. So again, for small business applicants that have only an individual taxpayer identification number or ITIN and or have no credit history, you are eligible still to apply for up to $10,000 with WEV. And we may require more documentation. This is not a Streamline loan. So we may require more documentation, and as well, we will establish payment activity or history using other methods of verification, such as rent payments, cell phone bills, utility bills, etc. And finally, WEV does provide a program that we call our Forgivable Business Loan and Consulting Program. This program is not always offered. It is offered in unique cohorts, depending on the funding that is available. We encourage you to check back our website for updates and availability. And for this program, you would receive, if you were selected, it is a competitive process, you would receive a forgivable loan of $10,000 paired with 10 hours of customized business consulting. And underwriting of this program is based on the business plan and coachability rather than current cash flow. So this is a very, very nice program. Again, not available for startup businesses. You must be an existing business to apply. And we again encourage you to check the weavonline.org website for updates as to availability of this program. And again, this is the website, the page for funding, www.weavonline.org/funding. We'll have all this information. So the first step in this entire process is your business plan. Every applicant for our startup and expansion loans must provide a formal business plan. This does not apply to Streamline loans or forgivable loans. So if you are seeking startup or expansion capital, you must have a business plan before you can apply. For our purposes, a formal business plan includes an executive summary of your experience, your vision for the business, and your plan to start or grow your business. A fully developed marketing plan that includes identification of your competition, your target market, and how you intend to reach them. A minimum 2-year financial projection, and a detailed use of proceeds for the loan that you are requesting from WEV. Once your business plan is completed, we will ask you to submit that along with your full financial package. Again, this applies only to startup and expansion loans. And for those loan requests, we will complete a financial analysis, a full financial analysis. This provides us a snapshot of your historical income and your current liabilities, indicating to us whether or not you are able to take on additional debt. Once we have completed the report, we will share with you the financial analysis and discuss the results. If we feel that the loan request is not quite strong enough, we may request additional support. That might include collateral if it's available, or a guarantor or cosigner if that's available. If we determine after our analysis and potential identification of collateral or cosigner, if we determine that it is a good fit for our program and it meets our underwriting requirements, we will then request a formal application from all owners, which are anyone that owns 20% or more, by sharing our formal application link. This is important because this is the point at which we will pull your credit. We will not do so until we feel reasonably confident that the loan can be made. And once we receive your completed application, we will finalize our report and seek approval. And then, if approved, your loan would be funded. WEV will provide you with a loan package guide, which will give you all the information you need in order to put together a completed application. Once we receive your completed application, it can take up from 4 to 6 weeks to fund your request, unless you have requested a Streamline Loan, which generally, once we have received all required information, and if you are eligible, can be funded within 72 hours. This process and the timeline is largely dependent on how prepared you as the applicant are to provide all the required information and to answer any questions that we might have about your application. And once you have gathered all of the items that are required, we will ask you to upload those documents to our secure portal, which would be provided to you. A WEV loan package includes these 6 items at minimum: your formal business plan, as we previously described, a personal financial statement, your federal tax returns. Usually we will ask for 2 or sometimes 3 years, depending on the size of the request. Your bank statements, both business and personal. Proof of income, if you are otherwise employed or receive other income, or any of your cosigners or other owners do. And then proof of your contribution to the project. So that can be receipts for funds that have recently been spent toward the project, or a bank or savings or investment statement that shows that amount in the account. Once we have received and reviewed your business plan, often we might note areas of the plan that we feel could use more development. And if so, we may refer you to our business advisory team. If we do that, you would then receive up to 4 hours of complimentary advisory coaching about your business plan, those areas that we identified that may need to be developed a bit more. As we mentioned previously, your business plan must contain at minimum a thorough marketing plan, 2 years financial projections, and detailed use of proceeds for the loan. If you do not have a business plan, don't worry, you're not alone. But we do have resources available to help you with this. WEV has a training course called Smart Entrepreneurial Training, which is extremely helpful for particularly startup businesses or newer businesses in creating a comprehensive business plan. These are cohort classes and are curated and led and instructed by a professional business advisor. We also can provide you with a business plan sample, if that would be helpful to you. We also can refer you to our partners at the Economic Development Collaborative in Camarillo, serving both Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, like WEV. They have many consultants that are available to support you as well. And there are online resources as well. One of the hardest things for clients when creating their business plan are the financial projections often. We can also provide you with a worksheet or template for this, and we would be happy to do that. It is a very easy to use document that is often helpful for our clients. And please note, completing any of our training courses or providing any documents to us on our templates may still not lead to loan approval, as there are many, many factors involved in that decision. But having that business plan is a very important part of the loan process. We will ask that you provide us with a personal financial statement. This is what our template looks like, and this would be provided to you. Please be sure to complete any documents like this thoroughly so that we don't need to come back and ask you for the information again. And again, anyone that owns more than 20% of your business must sign on the loan and must provide all this documentation as well. We will ask you for copies of your federal tax returns. We do not need your state tax return. We will only request your federal tax returns. If you are a startup loan and you have not filed separate business tax returns or a Schedule C in your personal tax return, we will simply ask you to provide copies of your personal federal tax returns for your request. If you are already in business and you file a separate business tax return, we will ask you for both your personal and business federal tax returns. And we ask that you provide us with complete copies of these documents, all the pages of your federal tax return. Again, we do not need your California or any other state income tax return. That is not required. We will also ask you for 3 months, the most current 3 months of personal and business bank statements. And so again, if you are a startup and have not yet opened a business bank account, we would not require you to provide prior statements. However, we will require that you establish a separate business bank account before your loan is funded, if you are approved. We will also ask for those applicants that have other sources of income for proof of income year to date. So those would be things like any pay stubs from an employer, VA letters, Social Security, or any of these other items listed. If you have other income that is you don't see listed here that you can provide evidence of, you can simply let us know and we can talk about whether or not that additional income would be acceptable. Again, we will require that you contribute a minimum of 10% of your own funds toward the project. We will need to verify the availability of those funds with a bank or investment statement. Or if they are not reflected in your past statement, we can get a printout reflecting the balance. And if you have already spent a certain amount of money toward the project and can provide evidence of those expenditures, we can consider that potentially as part of your equity contribution as well. And so finally, after having seen this presentation and completing your business plan or revising it or finding it, and you feel you are ready to apply for a WEV loan, the simplest way to do that is to either reply to the email you received when you submitted your interest form, or simply create a new email to funding@wevonline.org. This email will go to myself and my 2 colleagues, Martha and Stephanie. And in that email, please indicate that you wish to begin the process of applying for a loan. We will then reply and respond to your request by providing you a copy of this PowerPoint presentation for your reference. We will also provide you with the business plan guide, the business plan sample, the loan package guide, the personal financial statement, and the financial projection worksheet, all for your reference and ease of use. We will also provide you with the link to our secure portal to upload those items. And we will include links to other WEV programs and services if they would be of interest to you. This concludes the presentation for WEV's funding program, including our program, our products, services, and process. If you do have questions or you wish to start the application process, again, please email funding@weavonline.org. If you already have a loan with WEV and you have questions, or are in process of applying for a loan with WEV already, and you have questions about your application, please contact WEV's loan officer, Martha Quintero, at mquintero@weavonline.org. And if you have questions about any existing loans that you have with WEV, please contact Stephanie Martinez, smartinez@weavonline.org. Thank you again for listening to this info session about WEV's funding program. We are happy to answer any questions that you have, and we look forward to supporting you here in our program and throughout our other programs and services at WEV. And we welcome you to our community.